Welcome back, movie fans, to another episode of Hollow Victories, where the awfulness is out of this world. I am your host, Matt Presents, joined, as always, by my spaced-out co-host.
Yuba dooba dooba. My name is Glip Glop, but you can call me Makal.
And I'm afraid I've got some bad news, boys. We're in space. That's right, for the month of March, where we've got both the Friday the 13th coming up and St. Patrick's Day coming up, we have decided to pair up the two slasher franchises that have gone to space. It's Leprechaun 4 in space versus, of course, Jason X.
Clever pair up. Clever pair up. I gotta give it to you, Matt.
Thank you. I kind of only did it because of the convenient timing of both of those falling in the same month.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like this was like a good pair up either way.
Yeah, they felt very similar in a lot of ways, actually, but one was definitely funnier than the other one. I'll say that much.
Indeed. But would you like to get us started with Jason X?
Yes, so Jason X released in, I guess it's technically considered a 2001 movie, but it didn't get its US release until April 26, 2002. Tells the story of Jason, presumably, I mean, I say presumably for me, after Jason Goes to Hell. Is it called Jason Goes to Hell?
Yeah, Jason Goes to Hell.
A movie I have not seen, but Matt has seen. It takes place after the events of that movie, where I guess they thought they killed Jason, but they can't kill Jason because he keeps regenerating, something that the Leprechaun character also does. There's a couple of parallels between these movies, aside from just the space theme, and that's another one. But Jason keeps regenerating, so there are some people who want to freeze him so he can't be a nuisance anymore. It's like, we can't kill him, but we can freeze him so he can't, cause any more harm. But then there's some people who want to use, like, oh, well, this is like a whole new science. This is something big. We need to look into this. We need to figure it out. But in the attempt to let him out so they can continue the research on them, they find that he's already escaped. Now, the movie does try to pin this on the guys who want to take him out, but the facility that we're going to freeze him kind of fucked up themselves. So I'm going to not let the movie off the hook with that one. Because the whole time they're trying to paint us, oh, it's just these greedy people who came in. One, trying to figure out the science behind him is not necessarily greedy when maybe there is something valuable you could learn there. But two, you fucked up beforehand because he was already out and escaped before those guys came in. So these guys who were supposed to be the big bad guys that caused Jason to come back, not really. Not really. He already killed the one guy who worked there beforehand. He already escaped. But regardless, Jason's escaped, and he kills all the people, including David Cronenberg.
I was gonna say one of them is David Cronenberg.
Yes. But then a woman who works there named Rowan manages to freeze him, but also freeze herself. So he kind of takes a sacrifice. Cut to 455 years in the future, because I guess literally no one else knew this was a thing going on. A bunch of space explorers discover this, because it's not even the same Earth anymore. There's Earth 2 now. They literally call it Earth 2. They arrive on this planet, they find Jason, they find her, and they think Jason is dead. Like, there's nothing that's going to bring him back, but they can save this woman, so they bring her back, and there's all these, scientific, possibilities, all this research. Oh, here's someone who's from, nearly 500 years ago. We can interview her. So they want to use her for that, but then they also learn that Jason Voorhees is a bit of a celebrity in a sense, as a famous serial killer. So that's actually more valuable. So they decide they're going to try to bring him back too, or at least preserve the body instead of get rid of it. And of course, that greed leads to Jason. No, he's perfectly fine. He was able to come back just like she was. And he starts killing everybody on the ship. So it's a battle to try to make it off the ship alive. You've got the handful of characters that live and a majority of the characters that die. And it's like any other slasher movie, but now it's in space. Matt, what did you think of Jason X?
It's got some fun moments. It's certainly a fun movie, although I definitely think it could do more in that area. It's far from the most fun movie of the franchise. But it is, I might put this on the upper end of Friday the 13th movies. Having seen all of them, I know you've only seen the first one. Having seen all of them, this is one of the more entertaining ones. Just because it gets so wacky. It gets so over the top. There are some, like, really fun kills in this one. I think when he freezes the girl's face in liquid nitrogen and then just smashes it in is, like, one of the best kills in the franchise.
That one and the one with the drill I really like. But I will say, the pacing of this movie is actually one of the things that is not a problem with it. I think it actually gets really to the point, you know? It's a pretty well-paced movie. You get, like, the introduction scene gives you a little bit of that, like, violent action that you want to see, and they don't wait long for it to start up again, and from there on, it's pretty consistent. So if you're someone who watches these movies for the kills, you got some really solid kills in there, and the movie's not, like, dragging on. I think this movie actually gets to the point quicker than the original Friday the 13th does. I do think the original Friday the 13th has more merit to it than this movie does, though. Because it's like, this movie just feels completely silly. Like, there's nothing to take seriously in it at all. In the original Friday the 13th, I could see it being a movie that creeps someone out, especially with the stalker vibe, but also just being at a camp, and, you're isolated in the woods. You're isolated on a spaceship, but people are going to be isolated in the woods at some point on a camping trip in their life. They're not going to be isolated in space at any point in their life. Unlikely, at least.
So you say that now, but like in 50 years, just you wait.
Okay. I don't think the pacing's bad, and I think there's some good kills, but just as a whole, I just don't think there's a lot to dissect with this one. Like it wasn't a horrible experience watching it, but it's just like, this is just not a very good movie, and it's like, it's not funny enough either, It's like a little bit self-aware at points, but not enough to be like a good satire.
I mean, especially the holodeck scene. The holodeck scene is like a full-on, like, we are acknowledging what Friday the 13th typically is moment. It's a little on the nose, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
No, if you want a good self-aware Friday the 13th, Jason Lives, Part 6, is, like, easily the best of the franchise outside of maybe the original.
Okay.
And you might like it more than the original. You might enjoy that one a little more than just, like, generic-ass slasher film.
I have to be in the mood for a good slasher, and I'm normally not, but I mean, but then we watch, there are movies that you've shown me where I'm like, I could be a fan of slashers. I'm just like, there's a lot of bullshit you have to sit through. If you're a fan of slasher films, there's a lot of bullshit you have to sit through as a fan of slasher films. There's a lot of bullshit you have to sit through. But I mean, I'm a fan of franchises that you have to sit through a lot of bullshit for, so I kind of get it.
Yeah, no, I had my slasher phase in college, and I did in fact sit through a lot of bullshit. A lot of slashers are just boring as hell. Like, oh my god, you wouldn't believe it. Even some of the Friday the 13th sequels can get kind of boring. Part 5 and Part 7 especially are kind of boring. Although, the one with the most boring sequels is probably Halloween. Halloween 4, Halloween 5, Halloween Resurrection, no, not Resurrection, H2O, Halloween H2O 20 years later. All fucking boring as shit movies.
The Halloween movie that we covered on the show, I have ranked pretty high on the list. And to be fair, being ranked high on a Hall of Victories list it doesn't mean that much. If you're not in the top 10, you're probably not an enjoyable movie. I shouldn't say that. I mean,
I don't know about that.
If you're not in the top 30.
Sure.
I don't know, I got Waterworld in the top 30, and that's a pretty dull movie in terms of characters, but then you have such great set design and great cinematography to where it's it's a little...
I enjoy Waterworld.
There's good things about that. There's good, I think the thing with Hall of Victories is it's a lot of the movies are missing a key factor, They get a lot right, but they're missing a key factor. And with a slasher movie, a slasher movie just needs to be fun, and when the key factor you're missing is fun, you're fucked. You're completely fucked.
Yeah, a slasher needs good kills and interesting characters.
And I think one of these has that, and Jason X is not the one that has that. Jason is the most interesting character in this, and he doesn't talk. I did think the professor character was okay. I like how he was able to switch from supportive professor character to scumbag within seconds. Like, he did that a lot throughout the movie, and that did make him kind of interesting to me. And then there was one other character I thought was a little bit interesting, and it was Brodsky. It was Sergeant Brodsky. You could put that character in a different movie and he would work there. So Brodsky and the professor, I thought, were all right, you know?
Yeah. I kind of like the robot girl.
I'm sorry. I'm actually, no. The robot girl and her creator, actually, no, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Those two were probably my favorites in the movie, actually. Because I did think they were interesting. I just feel like the movie didn't focus on them until the ending, really.
Yeah.
But I did like them. Even Janessa, I'm reading her name, I recognize the face. Even she had like a bit of a I don't know, she was like a bit like nuts, and I thought that was kind of fun about her, but they, again, it was just something the movie didn't like take advantage of. You know, there was like a actress there who was willing to put in the personality for the character, but the script wasn't willing to let her do anything with it.
I did think the scene with I did think it was funny when the robot girl was like, she had her shirt up and it looks like you're looking at her tits, but then her nipples just fall off because they're just like magnetized. They're just magnets.
Yeah. So the movie had a few good characters, but it's also like, I think underutilized though.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think this fares better than a lot of slashers I have seen because it has a few good kills and a few good characters, but I think you needed more good kills and more good characters for this to really land, you know?
Especially because I'm going to say this, sci-fi is often the genre that I'm not into. It's like space movies. I used to say that about Westerns, and then I started watching good Westerns. And it was like, okay, the issue was never Westerns, it was that I was watching bad Westerns. I've seen a lot of space movies. I've seen a lot of them. And there's some that I truly love, but I've also seen some where it's like these two, where you're not even really seeing space, you're just watching people going around on the same fucking spaceship set, where that, like, they don't look that different from one another, and they're dull, they're boring. And I just get sick of looking at it. Don't this doesn't apply to all sci-fi, this doesn't apply to all space. It's just, there's a lot of movies that take, like, the easy route with it, you know? It's hard to make a sci-fi, because you have to build this big set for the spaceship, or you have to create all these like alien life forms that you're going to try to bring into live action. It's hard, but it's also like, yeah, it is hard. So if you're not willing to do it, you shouldn't do it. And a lot of them end up being really bland and generic. And I feel like both of these movies, despite having things I like in them, I don't think set design is like a winner for either of them.
I get where you're coming from with that. I do like a few of the sets in Leprechaun 4.
I like the disco room.
But the Jason X set is kind of boring. Have you seen Alien?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Because I feel like both of these movies are heavily indebted to Alien. I mean, Leprechaun 4, I think, does a straight-up parody of it.
They both love the bridge, which Alien is pretty... I think Alien's pretty known for.
Yeah. I don't know, but Alien does get creative with its sets. There's like the big cavern they have to go into with all the eggs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that. Alien, it's like, I watched it, but I watched it when I was like 11 years old with my best friend, you know? Like, it was like, I gotta watch it again, because it's like such a blurry memory, but I do remember watching it. I remember the ending more than anything.
Yeah. I remember watching it with some of my friends in, like, high school. One of them was staying the night, and, like, I had gone to the bathroom, and while I was gone, they had, like, turned off all the lights. So I just, like, leaned over my friend and made this, like, alien, like, screeching at him, and his hands, like, flew up and, like, hit me in the face. Like, get the fuck out of here with that. Good times. But I've rewatched that one at least once since then. Great movie.
I should watch it again. I really should.
Jason X. It is the 10th movie. That's Roman numeral 10, Jason X. It bothers me so much that, like, counting the remake and Freddy vs. Jason, there are only 12 Friday the 13th movies. It's like, just make one more.
They'll
one more.
I bet they will make one more, and they're gonna do something. They're gonna at least try to do something special for it. Oh my god, what if they did like? Have they ever done an animated Friday the 13th?
No.
Imagine if they, for like the 13th Friday the 13th, they do like they give it like fucking Spider-Verse treatment. Wouldn't you love that?
There is a slasher franchise that did that, and I forget what it's called, but there was one where like it's like obscure ass thing that I like barely know about, but like the 12th movie or something is an animated movie for some reason.
I respect that. Go all out. Go fucking weird. Making slasher movies. Your movies are already, if you make a slasher movie, you're already like at least 10% making an animated film.
I mean, Jason does just defy physics all the time. In this one, they sort of embrace his invincibility more than most of the other movies do. They're like, yeah, we just keep shooting him and he doesn't fucking die. We don't know what to do about that.
It really doesn't seem like the bullets do anything to him in this. And that's actually a critique I have of this movie, until the cyborg character at the end starts shooting him, and then he starts blasting. Because in, like, Leprechaun 4, there's a scene where the one woman starts shooting him up into bits, and I said, like, when we were watching Jason X, because that's the first movie we watched, I was like, they should just keep shooting at him until he's like nothing but particles. And I believe if they did that, he would still be alive because of the way the character is. But it's like, at the very least, it would be logical. It'd be logical to either you're buying yourself more time, or you're actually convinced that he's dead because he can't, like, how is a bunch of fucking guts gonna reform, So I just like, why play it safe? In a case like this, why play it safe? There is movie... You know what it is? It's a show, Full Metal Alchemist, which I love. I adore that show. And I am talking about the original, not Brotherhood, although that's a debate for another day. Don't get me started on that. Where one of the homunculi they have to kill at the end of the show, who's been a major threat for a majority of the series, they defeat him. He is dead. And then the guy with, like, the guy named Roy Mustang with fire abilities, and after he kills him and it's just a skull, he lights the skull on fire multiple fucking times because of how much of a nuisance this guy has been. Like, he is afraid, even though it seems like they won, even though they seem like he is fucking dead, he is so afraid because of everything that's led up to this point that he lights it on fire again and again and again and again. Like, he is like, it is like, I want to be 100% fucking sure this guy is dead. And that is my number one gripe with horror movies, where it's like, if this is a character who's been proven they can regenerate, make sure they're fucking dead, or at least down for a minute. And in Jason's case, they actually would have been okay if it wasn't for the regenerative thing they have. Like in Leprechaun, it's just that you're fucked. He's fine. He even at the end of the movie when they defeat him, his finger is flipping them off. That should be enough sign for them to say, "Oh fuck, this guy can come back." Like, that should have been enough. That shouldn't have been like a haha, oh you. That should have been no, we're fucked if we don't do more.
I mean, at that point, he's already out in space, and I think he's someone else's problem,
That's for movie 5 to worry about. That's for Leprechaun in the Hood to worry about.
Not really, because the Leprechaun movies have zero continuity, but we'll get there.
Right. But yeah, I kind of went on a tangent there, but the bottom line is, like, I appreciate how in Leprechaun 4 they were at least able to destroy it, so they had like a reason to believe he was harmed. But in Jason X, they keep shooting him and like nothing happens. And again, until the cyborg character does something where her bullets just, I guess, work better. So it's weird. It's just weird. It's not consistent. That's the bottom line. Is it's an inconsistency.
Yeah, and I mean, they also leave him lying on the table that regenerates you, which is how the like last 20 minutes of the movie, because we were watching the movie and they like blast the hell out of Jason, and there was like a second, and then you were like, okay, there's 20 minutes left in the movie, he's definitely not dead.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
No, the last 20 minutes are just gonna be about them going back to Earth and living their lives normally.
Yep. Nope, the last 20 minutes they just had a party, enjoyed themselves, went back to Earth 2.
They play that song, Come On, Be Happy.
It ends with a big dance number.
The professor comes out and says, "That's what I like about you."
It's gotta be Jason. He like steps out and everyone's like, and then he like lifts up his mask and he's just like, "That's what I like about you," and everyone's like, "Oh!" and they keep dancing. Should we talk about who's in this?
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't think that's gonna take very long because most of these actors have not been in a lot.
I tried looking into them, and like really, when you click on most of these actors' profiles, it's like this movie is what pops up immediately. You know, I think in both this and Leprechaun 4's case, it's going to be the real star of the show is the slasher, and that's Kane Hodder and Warwick Davis.
Yeah, Kane Hodder is big in like the slasher film scene. He's also a stunt man, so he's done stunt work in other movies. He did stunts for Batman Forever.
So I guess he's returning.
He's not an actor. He's not a credited actor. Oh, and Spawn. He's not a credited actor in either of those, but he did do stunts for both of them.
I mean, that means we probably saw him, and I think that means he should count.
If
we're going to count cameos, we should count that.
Sure.
He doesn't make him king, but like, honest to God, someone like Kane Hodder and Warwick Davis are probably more deserving of the Hall of Victories crown than most people. Like, I think it's like they kind of fall into Clint Howard territory.
Yeah, I am a little surprised Kane Hodder hasn't been in anything we've watched though, because he's so known as Jason. Like, he's probably the best known Jason actor. He also ends up showing up in a lot of other horror movies. So I'm a little surprised we haven't seen him before. He was in the Impractical Jokers movie.
I actually know that because, I was looking into these guys and was like, oh, hey, he wasn't on Hall of Victories, but he was on something I talked about before. Not a good movie. If I were to put the Impractical Joker movies in the Hall of Victory ranking, it'd probably be somewhere in the middle.
That might be higher than I would have guessed, to be fair.
I mean, we've watched a lot of... there's some funny moments in the Impractical Jokers movie, and we've watched a lot of shit on the show.
The weird... I'm looking at Letterboxd, and the weird thing about the Letterboxd cast is they're, like, in order of appearance. So one of the top credited people is just Soldier Number 1. David Cronenberg's pretty high on the list. We haven't seen David Cronenberg in anything yet, and I'm not sure he has a movie bad enough to appear on this show. I don't know. Here's the thing. Like, I've heard about some of his movies that people don't like him, but then, like, there will be people who like all of them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what David Cronenberg's track record with this show is going to end up being. But it's a funny cameo.
Yeah, it is. Time will let you know. That's the big thing with a lot of it. Like, Lisa Ryder as KM. I mean, I enjoyed KM. I thought she was a fun character.
I did, and I felt like I recognized that actress, and I just didn't. I think she looks like Bryce Dallas Howard.
Maybe so.
The Howard who hasn't been on this show,
right? I thought.
Oh, actually, I think she was in The Grinch. Actually, I take that back.
I looked at her character, and I was, you know what it was for me. To Boldly Flee.
Yes.
I was for a second question, is that the character that Nostalgia Chick was? Because they all have the costumes in all those anniversary movies. And I looked it up, I was like, okay, no, it's a sci-fi movie I haven't heard of. But I saw that costume they had for her, and it's like, they probably based it off of that other popular movie that was worth To Boldly Flee's attention. Because that's what I thought. I saw the outfit, and I saw like the little mark on her side. It was mainly caused by her hair, but it was like, I was like, this looks kind of similar to what To Boldly Flee did. So I was like, is that what she's supposed to be? And it's like, no, it's not. But I was like, it was close. And I feel like there's definitely the influence is probably caused by that.
Worth saying, probably. I think it's very funny that in the year 2455, there's just a resurgence of 2000s fashion.
Oh my God.
Everyone in this movie has the most 2000s outfit on. Like early 2000, like 2001, 2002 outfits in this movie.
The way that both of these movies portray female characters might be worth bringing, because I think that Leprechaun 4 justifies it okay in the end. Like, they're not like wearing skimpy outfits the whole movie, except for the one princess character, but that's like a sci-fi princess character. That's a common thing. And she was also the most entertaining female in that movie. Where this movie, it's like, I don't know. The thing is, like, I get what they're trying to do, but I watched something like Barbarella, which was also trying to do that, and it doesn't come off as offensive to me just because it's like the character they had fun with the character. The character had personality. Maybe there's something you can comment on. Maybe there's like room for criticism. I'm not going to act like there isn't, but it's also like Barbarella is a character to me. You know, I do like her. I do enjoy watching her. Where the characters in this movie, it was just like, it felt like their outfit was like 80% of the character, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
Because the female characters in this movie are fucking terrible.
I mean, that is kind of just slashers. Slashers will just like, here it is, hot female. But she have sex.
Here's my issue with it with Jason X specifically. Because again, I didn't comment on that, and when we watched the original Friday the 13th, I didn't make that comment. It's that in this movie, they have that scene where they put up the hologram version of the summer camp, which I actually like that in concept. They like, oh, we're doing this weird sci-fi movie, but we're still going to make reference to the original. I like that. But when they cut to the original, they have like a parody version of these characters, and it's like it's like you're self-aware and you're not at the same time. You're trying to like have your cake and eat it too. It's like these two characters are 100% what you're being criticized for, but none of the characters on the ship go beyond those two at the summer camp, you know? Except for the cyborg. I think the cyborg does go beyond that. The cyborg was fun. They did like a Matrix thing with her. She's not a great character, but it was entertaining. It was something. I don't know. Feel free to disagree with me on that. I hate being high and mighty on the show. I'm just like, you know.
There is a way women are treated in slasher films that this movie is pretty consistent with, despite being a lot later than like most slashers.
Yeah.
Like this is well after the peak of slasher films had happened.
I feel like there's like older ones too though that managed to like I don't remember there being anything too bad in like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you know? I felt all the humans in that movie felt like on the same page.
Yeah, it's not every slasher, but it is kind of a trope of the genre.
Sure.
In a genre that loves its tropes.
Yeah. Yeah, no further comments on that.
I will mention the character of Fat Lou, played by Boyd Banks, who has an uncredited appearance in The Cat in the Hat.
Hey, welcome back, buddy. Welcome back to our club. You're cool.
Are there any other actors in this we want to talk about? Any other characters you want to talk about?
I don't think so.
Okay.
There was the one guy who was operating the ship. I don't remember I don't even know what cast member it would be. That reminded me of Tim Robinson a little bit. He had like a cowboy hat on the whole time.
I think that was Fat Lou. Hold on.
Might have been Fat Lou. He wasn't that fat though. Yeah, when we're looking at people like, fuck you. Fat Lou, really? Like, Big Fatso earned it. You didn't earn Fat Lou. You didn't look that overweight at all. Anyway.
I agree. Not fat enough. 0 out of 10.
Alright, well, are you ready to introduce Leprechaun 4?
Final thoughts on Jason X. I can't believe Joe Biden outlawed hockey.
Fucking shameful. Fucking shameful.
Mitzi's looking at me weird for that one.
What does that mean?
In the movie, they say hockey was outlawed in 2024.
Why would he do that?
Joe Biden. That's why he actually dropped out.
He couldn't bear the shit. Everyone was like, I can't believe he banned hockey. What an asshole.
Kamala Harris would have brought hockey back.
It was too gay.
And then,
they wouldn't stop
and then Trump was like, that was the one good thing Biden did. Fuck hockey. Fuck Canadians.
Yeah. R.I.P. hockey.
So sad.
Let's talk about Leprechaun 4 in space.
Ooh.
Remember the monster from that film Leprechaun? Well, he turned his existence into a space machine. He's still Leprechaun, but he's in space. So Leprechaun 4 in space is about this group of space marines who have been hired by, what is it? Dr. Mittenhand?
Yes.
Something to that effect.
It is Mittenhand.
Dr. Mittenhand has sent them on this journey, this expedition to this like far off distant planet to, find what they can for him. I think specifically he is looking for the Princess of Dominia, Princess Zarina. She's there in the Leprechaun's cave. He's trying to make her marry him. Also, the Leprechaun is just in space now. He lives on this distant planet in space now because the Leprechaun movies do not have a single iota of continuity between them. Every single one of them, the Leprechaun has a new backstory and new set of powers. So in this one, they're just like, nah, fuck it, he lives in space now. Don't ask questions, he just lives in space now. And he's trying to convince the Princess of Dominia to be his wife because he has so much gold. But then the Space Marines show up and blow him up and steal all his gold. But then one of the Space Marines pisses on his body, and that causes him to transfer up the pee stream into the guy's dick, and then he does sort of a like alien-style chestburster scene, but it's out of the guy's dick.
Pretty iconic.
And, and now the Leprechaun of the Leprechaun slasher franchise is on the spaceship, killing off people willy-nilly and trying to get his gold and his princess back. Havoc ensues. Also, they find out Dr. Mittenhand is, like a cyborg. He only has, only his head and one of his shoulders has survived, and the rest of him is a robot. So he's using the princess to try to regenerate his body, because she can do that, I guess. That I think covers it. Michael, what'd you think of Leprechaun 4 in space?
Pretty fun. There's a lot of it took a minute for it to kind of kick in for me, for it oh, I'm actually having fun watching this, because I think half of the characters work. I think half of the characters are fun for a movie like this. Maybe even more than half of them. There was some that, there's Dolores, who kind of just comes off as the girl character. She's the one who, the female character that dies. She didn't have too much going on. There was the one guy who, for a second, tries to convince the Leprechaun that he's going to work with him, he's going to team up with him, and it's a trick. He didn't have much going on. But other than that, most of the characters had something going on. I didn't really love the love interest in this movie. I didn't like the romantic chemistry this movie had, but those two kind of sucked, in my opinion. That's Brooks and Tina. But the rest of them, I mean, the Leprechaun's funny, the princess is funny, the Dr. Mittenhand is funny, his assistant is funny, the Sergeant Hooker is funny. There's just a lot of personality to the side characters. Even some of the characters that die early, like Mooch, he had a little bit of charisma on screen. He was a little bit funny, just as a kind of a douchebag character, but not overly douchey to where you couldn't stand watching him. I enjoyed these characters. I enjoyed some of these sets. I enjoyed some of the deaths. It was really over the top, and I think that the Leprechaun is this great. I'd actually. Is there any Leprechaun movies that you would legitimately recommend? Because I actually like him as a character. I like the personality behind him. It's this fits. This works. This could be good. There could be an unironically good movie with this character.
Beyond this one, I would recommend Leprechaun 2. Because that one gets really surreal. It's a very weird movie. It's also the one with Clint Howard in it. So.
These aren't... It's not a great movie. It's not this is one of the Hall Victor movies that's actually good, like Zardoz, but it's pretty entertaining. There's a lot of value. I think there is value in this movie where you could put this movie on with buddies and watch it. I think with Jason X, it's if you're watching all the Friday the 13th movie with friends, then it'd be worth that. This is probably gonna be one of the better ones, but I wouldn't say just put it on a limb. I wouldn't say just put it on because it's we're looking for fun bad movies to watch. Leprechaun 4 is a fun bad movie. That's my opinion. It's a fun bad movie.
Yeah. I agree. I think there's a lot of fun sci-fi concepts in here. I think there's a lot of goofy sci-fi stuff in here. I mean, you've got... he's almost trying too hard, the actor, but I like the character who's playing, the sergeant with the, metal head.
Yeah, Hooker. Sergeant Hooker.
The giant chrome piece. Yeah. and he goes so over the top with the sergeant stuff. And then, of course, Mitten Hand is like, it's a really interesting effect. They did a really good job with that effect of just him kind of sticking out of this robot body.
Well, I talked to you when we were watching the movie that I couldn't tell where the fake skin and real skin sort of began. It's probably like, he has these like little metal overalls over him. It's probably hidden underneath that, but like they did a pretty good job hiding it.
It's really funny too, because you were talking about like how good the effect was, and I'm like, yeah, meanwhile the stars in the background are pretty clearly just like Christmas lights shoved through a bed sheet.
Yeah, that part was kind of shit. That was the kind of thing where like in modern times you could just use a fucking Google PNG and it'd look better.
Yeah, there's some bad CG in both of these movies.
Yeah.
Granted, some of the bad CG in Jason X is part of like the holodeck, so I mean that's not totally justified, because surely by 2455 we'll have better CG than that.
Well, also to give Leprechaun 4 some credit, like this was 1996. Fucking Jason X was like 2001. I know it's only like 5 years apart, but that's, considering CG at the time, that's pretty fucking notable.
Yeah, that was there had been some pretty big improvements just in that short amount of time. But I mean there's like non-CG effects that look pretty bad. Like when the Leprechaun starts growing giant and like the film quality just like drops on him.
Oh my god. That was one where it's like, I recognize what the error is here from like shit I was doing in high school.
Right.
And you should, like, a fucking professional film should not be seeing that.
Where you zoom in and post instead of with the camera.
Yeah. It's like, no, I've seen other movies do this correctly. You're fucking way off here.
Yeah.
That was not them not willing to put the time in. That's all that was. It might have been a budget issue. It might have been we have to get up the fucking set now, so this is what we're stuck with. But maybe the thing is, the bottom line is maybe they knew it was shit, but it was shit.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we get to cast?
Just some fun jokes and fun effects in it. I like the scene with the Leprechaun cutting his fingers off. Like, I think that that's kind of going to go into cast, and it's like the guy who played the Leprechaun was perfect for the role. There's also just like a cynical sense of humor to this movie that I feel like Jason X wasn't self-aware enough to have, where a lot of jokes in this movie really were like, both movies felt like they were trying to make self-aware jokes, and this one just like happened to, it landed a lot more frequently. But I think that's about all I have to say about it.
I don't even think this one is like overly self-aware either. Like, I mean, the Leprechaun franchise from the start was kind of a comedy franchise.
Mm-hmm.
So they've always been a little tongue-in-cheek with it. This, I think, is them getting like really silly with it.
Mm.
And I mean, after this, he goes to the hood.
That's true.
So clearly they kind of understood that this was not like a franchise you need to take seriously at all. That's the thing. Like, I enjoyed most of the Leprechaun series. I wouldn't discourage you from watching any of them, except the remake. Leprechaun Origins fucking sucked. I fucking hated that movie. Like, that might be the worst thing I ever talked about for drunk rankings. I hated that remake. But it's because it's not funny. It's because it has nothing to do with Leprechaun. It's not a Leprechaun movie at all.
I may have seen that happen to a franchise before, where it kind of gets the name, but it's not like, it wasn't supposed to be this.
Yeah. No, the only thing that movie copies from the original is the worst fucking line. Oh my god. I know you've never seen Leprechaun, but do you at least remember, like, the Nostalgia Critic review of Leprechaun?
I might have not watched that one.
Okay. Because the kid in that says the dumbest fucking line right before he kills the Leprechaun.
What's the line?
It's just like, fuck you, Lucky Charms.
That line is familiar.
Like, that is such a dumb fucking line. And then they repeated it in Leprechaun Origins at the very end after having nothing the fuck to do with Leprechaun, and I'm just like, fuck you.
Here's the thing, that line would be brilliant in a Leprechaun origin remake or whatever you want to call it, where the whole thing was really funny, because that'd be the ultimate self-aware line right there. But with what it is,
Yeah.
no.
No, it just pissed me off in that movie.
Yeah. No, in a movie that's like complete shit, that's not going to make you laugh. That is going to just annoy you.
Let's talk about Warwick Davis, because
Great fucking job.
it is in part him that makes the Leprechaun movie so fucking funny. Like, he is really good as the Leprechaun.
He's returning from Star Wars Episode 1.
He did, in fact, appear in Star Wars Episode 1.
And he is, yeah, a great personality to the character. Like, I mean, the character does a lot to save this film. And again, there's other good traits to the movie. There's other things about this movie that are funny and that work, but he does a lot for it.
I agree.
And he's familiar. I wonder what TV shows he's done, because he seems familiar to me as like a TV actor.
I don't know. He has done, a lot of famous short characters. He was like the head Ewok in Star Wars. I think he's in he's in Harry Potter too.
Yeah, he has a lot of credits for Harry Potter movies.
I mean, we could talk about the characters certainly here. You've got the very funnily named Guy Sinner as Dr. Mittenhouse.
He was great. He reminded me of a lot of characters I've seen in films before. Or he reminds me of fucking video game antagonists I've seen.
He does this ridiculous, like, German accent the whole time.
Yeah.
And again, like, he's got such a fun design. He's such a fun character. And then the Leprechaun, like, turns him into a spider.
Yeah.
He goes crazy as like a spider.
Scorpion. He has like the big scorpion tail too.
Yeah. Tim Colsyria?
Metalhead, but he's also labeled as like Hooker. But he's Metalhead is what he's listed on Google.
Yeah, he's Sergeant Hooker, who they call Metalhead in the movie at least once, I think.
He's fun. He gives a good performance for what it is. Especially near the end, they get really zany with him at the end of the movie.
He is in Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah,
that was really he was giving me the R. Lee Ermey energy, who of course has played that same fucking character in like a million other movies.
Yeah,
it feels like they wanted him and then they couldn't get him, so they just got someone else from Full Metal Jacket. Who else should we talk about in this cast?
Gary Grossman as Harold, scientist. He was creepy. He was weird.
Yeah, he was. Oh, he was in the Halloween remake. Look at him.
Hey, welcome back, Gary. I liked, it's kind of like not talking about casting. I like the Leprechaun used a fucking lightsaber. It was like a really shitty version of it, too. Rick Peters as Mooch. Mooch was kind of like the douchebag character, but he died pretty early.
Yeah, I remember him like entering an area, and you're like, "Oh, he's gonna die." Okay, Mooch, your time has come.
Yeah,
he was in the pilot. Okay. The CW did an Aquaman pilot. It was gonna be like a Smallville style Aquaman show. And apparently he was in that.
Yeah. Didn't work out so well.
No.
Jason Momoa was like the character that made them like... He was the actor who was like, okay, we can kind of make Aquaman cool. We can like kind of do it.
I prefer cheesy white bread Aquaman.
I mean, it's not unfair.
I love Aquaman. I think he's goofy as hell, but superheroes should be goofy as hell.
Sure, yeah. There's just no denying Aquaman is the character they had the hardest time adapting into live action. Because Jason Momoa doesn't really look like Aquaman, but that's what they went with.
Sure. A lot of actors in this, despite not having a lot of credits to their name, most of them were in another film from director Brian Trenchard Smith.
I think I saw that one when looking them up. What was it called again?
He did the Omega Code 2, which a lot of these actors are in. He also made Night of the Demons 2, which I declared better than Night of the Demons 1, which that one also features 2 or 3 actors from this film.
Mm.
So it's like, no matter whose page you go on, He has done more movies with them. Even Warwick Davis, because he also directed Leprechaun 3.
Hey.
That's the one where the leprechaun goes to Vegas.
Ooh.
Styx. Miguel A. Nuez Jr. He has been in other stuff. I don't think anything we've watched, but he was in a Friday the 13th movie. He's in part 5. Yeah, nothing we've covered so far. But he was in the Scooby-Doo live-action movie. He's in Black Dynamite. He's in one with a lot of Hall of Victories potential. Almost certainly will show up someday. Street Fighter with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I was gonna say, actually, when I was looking up, I was like, oh, we did Street Fighter for that one on list episodes. Like, no, that was Double Dragon.
Yeah.
Because there's always, I feel like, I don't know what the plan of that one is now. Like, are we just completely, is it the last media episode, or do we just redo it?
Yeah, I think if we ever came back to that one, we would just re-record it.
I'd say keep the original, though. That's Hall of Victories lost media right there. We have our story.
I don't even know if I could maybe I could find my audio for that, but I don't know where it is off the top of my head. I would have to look for it.
Lost media audience bug mad about that every single day. Don't ever stop.
It's gonna get released like 50 years later, and everyone's gonna watch it and be like, "Wow, this sucks."
I had a copy of it on my VCR. And everyone's gonna be like, they listen to like 5 minutes of it, but we will get a blame it on Jorge video.
Do you want to talk about anyone else in this movie? Or have we made it to the final decision?
I mean, Rebecca Carlton as Princess Zeriana was funny because she was just like she was so shitty, and that was what was funny about her. And I feel like the beginning of the movie didn't like give them time to like really fully elaborate on that because she's taken out of it pretty quickly. But as the movie goes, like during that last act, it's like she's pretty funny. She's pretty fucking. She is definitely the best out of both of these movies. She is the best female character. She was pretty funny. Nah, maybe the cyborg.
I agree.
Her, the cyborg. I think she's better than the cyborg, but the cyborg was fun.
She was fully robot. She was not a cyborg.
Hey, I don't know why I'm saying cyborg. She was fully a robot.
She is a fun character. She's really funny. I agree that they kind of shove her just into like the final act, and they should have given her more time because she's so funny. Because she's like almost as bad as the Leprechaun.
Oh yeah,
like clearly these two are on the same wavelength in terms of like being like fucked up horrible people.
How quickly, I think of it in that opening scene, how quickly the Leprechaun's able to convince her to join his side just speaks volumes on her, and that's great. Like in terms of having an antagonist, like you're like, especially it's like a goofy pair up too, because you have like this really attractive woman and then this gross leprechaun character, and I'm thinking how many cartoons have that with like the short ugly character and the tall attractive woman. That's like a trope. That's like an actual fucking trope, and they could have had real fun with that. They just take their time, and I legitimately think a sequel could have had these two still be together, you know? Like, they deserve each other.
That almost is a problem with this whole movie, is like, there's a lot of funny stuff, but it takes so long to get there.
Yeah, by the end of the movie, I was having fun with it, but I did like it. I mean, I had fun. I don't know if I should. That means I like it. I had fun with it, so I liked it. But it is like it's not good. I want to make it clear, it's not a good movie. It's just like it felt self-aware in the right areas to where I don't think I'm laughing at it. I feel like I'm laughing with it. I will say Brooks and Tina, fucking hated them.
His name is just Books. There's no R.
Oh, I put the R there myself. You're right. Books and Tina. Fuck them. They have like it's the same fucking tropey romance that a lot of these movies go for, and they had nothing interest into it. And at first Tina's a real condescending piece of shit, but then he fucking reveals himself as a bit of a psychopath. Like everything that comes out of those two mouths, I'm just like, you know, again, at first I was rooting for Books. At first I was like, well, Books is just being respectful. He's just trying to help her. He's doing his job. He's being nice. And then he starts saying weird shit where it's like, whoa, where the fuck did that come from? Okay, you're weird too. Fuck you. Like, it's just hated both of them. The actors, nothing against the actors. It's the script. It's just like, they in fact, I think they probably did the best they could with what they were given. It was just like, it's not self-aware enough, and it's not And it's also, I don't know, it's kind of funny, though. It's kind of funny how just off-putting those two are to me.
First off, I love the disco bar. I love that their bar is so disco
I do like I do like the
But-
disco bar.
I also like when, like, the Marines are hanging out at the disco bar and one of them just like, cheers to nasty sex and women who never say no. And then Books is just like, cheers to Kowalski. He was a good Marine. It's the one who dies at the very beginning, and they're just like, oh yeah.
And they all like cheers.
funny
Yeah.
that-
They don't say anything, but they cheers.
It's funny that his name is Kowalski, because
Yeah.
that's also one of the penguins of Madagascar.
Kowalski.
Kowalski, options. I've already been killed by the leprechaun. Alright, are we voting?
I think it's time for that.
Is this going to a vote? Alright. I think I'm up first. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, Michael. I don't often do matchups with an agenda, but I had a bit of an agenda here today. Because I think Leprechaun 4 is the vastly superior in-space slasher, and I just wanted to, like, get that out into the world. I felt like I could get you to agree with me on that one. I like Leprechaun in Space. It has so many funnier moments, so many more interesting sci-fi ideas. I honestly, when I saw this the first time, I said I almost wish this, like, I wish Leprechaun 4 in Space was Jason X, because I care so much more about Jason as a character than the Leprechaun. And it's like, if Jason X could have dedicated itself to the level Leprechaun 4 did, it would be so much funnier. I just wish Jason X was more like Leprechaun 4. So that's my vote. Leprechaun 4 is the better movie. What do you say, Michael?
You definitely won me over. I think Leprechaun 4 is a much better movie than Jason X. I think that Leprechaun 4, though, I mean, this is coming from someone who doesn't know these two franchises as well as you, but I feel like Leprechaun lends itself to it better than Jason does, because Jason is a silent killer. I mean, does he ever talk in the movies other than the ka, ma? I don't even know if he's the one doing that. That might just be in his head. Is Jason really a talkative character? Because I feel like the ability for the Leprechaun to be like this Looney Tune-esque character is what kind of makes the space version work so much better for Leprechaun. I don't know if Jason is a character you send up to space. You know, it's just like I think it's stupid. It's a stupid idea, but if you put a stupid character up with it, it can be funny.
He says like 2 lines in Jason Goes to Hell, which is weird. He's like disguised as another character and he just like speaks normally for 2 lines and that's it.
That is
Jason
weird.
Goes to Hell is weird. Jason Goes to Hell is a weird fucking movie. And not even necessarily in a good way.
I think that this was just a bad idea to take a Friday the 13th movie. With Leprechaun, it just feels like you already have this fucking zany character. You can do whatever the fuck you want with him for all I care.
Yeah.
Where Jason, it's like, when they put him into that, one thing we didn't talk about, and to be fair, it's not too much to talk about with it, but when he has like his new design for the end of the movie, when he's resurrected, and they have like Space Jason, it's like
Spacin'.
Yeah, Space, and it's really goofy, but it's also like he can't say anything. They're not going to be able to go that far with it. Where the Leprechaun, he's fucking goofy from start to finish. I don't know. It's like, yeah, Jason X has put me in a situation where, I can't take you seriously, but you're also not making me laugh. Where Leprechaun is like, yeah, I'm not taking you seriously, but you're aware of that. I'm having a pretty fun time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Jason X is a little self-aware, but not enough self-aware in Leprechaun 4. No, it's a pretty good time. Like, I mean, does it drag a little bit? Yes, but not that much.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. The audience is against us. It's 70% Jason X to 30% Leprechaun 4. I think at least part of that is that more people have seen Jason X. I don't think a lot of people have gone through the Leprechaun franchise.
And I can see some people looking at Jason X being like, oh, it's fun. It's not that bad. You know, like, I could see, like, because, I mean, sometimes a movie being more well-known actually hurts it, you know?
I'm going to say it. Jason X, top 5 Friday the 13th movie.
That does not make me want to watch more Friday the 13th. I'll say that much. I thought the first one was okay, and I thought this one was bad. So if those are both in the top 5.
Watch part 6. Part 6 is good.
Okay.
Also, Jason Takes Manhattan's pretty funny. Granted, it's a lot funnier when he gets to Manhattan, and it takes him like an hour to get to Manhattan.
Yeah, that's how it be sometimes.
Once he's in Manhattan, fucking hilarious.
I did a video. I'm doing like a video podcast in Spiny Norman for every year of film since I've been alive. And 1995 was the first one I covered, of course. And I talked about Striptease and that, and Striptease was one of those movies we did on the show where it's first hour is whatever, then during the last 30 minutes it just gets really silly out of nowhere, and it's pretty fun to watch. That does happen sometimes. I don't know if it's directors realize what they're making is silly and they just decide to go all out with the ending, or if it's just build up to the good part. You never build up to the good part. Just make the whole movie the good part. I know it sounds like basic advice, but it's advice that I feel like a lot of people need to hear. If you only have enough material for a short, make a short.
True that. Jesus Christ. Looking at you, Ghost Stories 2017 or 2018, I forget.
Oh, wait.
2017. 2017.
I think I've watched Ghost Story.
With Casey Affleck.
Is that the really dramatic one where the woman's husband dies?
Yeah. And he's like a sheet ghost.
Yeah, I like that movie, but they do have a scene with her eating a pie that goes on for 6 minutes uninterrupted. So it's I like it, but I feel like I can't really argue with people who say it's it takes too much time, because it's they really do take their fucking time with that one. I think that's what I like the movie, but it's pushing boundaries with slow.
I watched that movie and I'm this is a brilliant 30-minute short film that has been extended to an excruciating hour 40. It is way too long.
I have to agree with you. I think the thing with that one is I agree with you 100%. I respect the movie. But it's also
the idea of the movie. Right?
It is too long.
It's way too long.
And it feels I feel like there is an intention for the slow pace, but it's just one where it's very self-serving. I believe the director got something out of it being that long. I think 99% of the people who watch that movie aren't going to get something out of it being that long. I believe it's a sincere attempt to do something with the length. I think that scene's dragging on as long as they do. I think that there is something in the director's head that makes sense with that. I don't think it's them being pretentious, but I think it's just you did make a pretty bad viewing experience, and I hate to say it because I think it's a sincere film, but it misses the mark for me. It's too long.
Yeah. Thus concludes our Ghost Story 2017 discussion.
The side tangent.
Let's talk about next time on Hollow Victories, because I am so excited for this one.
All right.
I had a movie. I had one of these movies on a list of movies I wanted to do for Hollow Victories, but that I didn't have a pair up for. But I was scrolling the Letterboxd bottom 250 just to kind of get ideas for the show. And I saw a movie. It surprised me a little because I don't remember it being that hated. But I'm well, here it is on the Letterboxd bottom 250. That's good enough to get it on Hollow Victories. And it is a perfect pair-up for this other movie I wanted to do. Next time on Hollow Victories, it is the matchup of Jim Carrey's children. It's Son of the Mask versus Ace Ventura Jr.
Oh, I'm excited. Okay, Son of the Mask is one of those movies for me where I grew up with this. I loved this movie. I have not reevaluated it, but I know everybody hates it. So that makes me so excited to revisit it. Ace Ventura, I tried to watch the original and I stopped after 30 minutes because I hated it. And that's the one that people are okay with.
The sequel was Steve Odekirk, who produced Jimmy Neutron and created Back at the Barnyard. And Kung Pao Enter the Fist. All I remember about Ace Ventura 1 is that it's really transphobic at the end.
I've heard people say that I didn't make it that far.
And the sequel, there's a scene where he's in like a robotic rhinoceros, but it gets too hot in there and he has to like go out the rhinoceros's butt, and it looks like the rhinoceros gives birth to him.
I'm happy to do a Jim Carrey parrot because I do have stuff to say about that actor. You know, like he belongs. I feel like he belongs on the show, but he's like, he's done a good number of good shit.
Yeah, he's mostly dodged being on the show. He was in Batman Forever.
That's true.
So he has been on the show, but he's done a pretty good job dodging the show.
He is in Truman Show, which I really like. He's in my Letterboxd top 4 with Eternal Sunshine. I love that movie.
Great movie.
And he went from being a bad Robotnik to a good Robotnik. So, I mean, I do like the guy. I feel like honestly, Man on the Moon is another good movie. He's done, if I think about it longer and longer.
I really like him in Man on the Moon.
He's really good in that. If I think about him more and more, I mean, I even like the documentary about them making Man on the Moon.
I might like that documentary more than Man on the Moon. And I really like Man on the Moon.
I do like it more. I like Jim Carrey. He's definitely someone who I even like some of his movies that are more like up in the air, like Cable Man. I enjoy that movie, but it's like definitely one of his more some people hate it, some people love it movie. I like it because
I don't like movies where like someone just ruins someone else's life.
I hear you. I do hear you. And the thing is, I feel like there are so many cases where I would hate this movie. Oh man, this is so mean. One, it's Matthew Broderick, who, not the most charismatic person on the planet. I think his best role is BoJack, where he's playing like a shithead. He's playing BoJack's grandfather. He's good. Ferris Bueller's a good role for him too. Even in movies I love with him though. Like I adore Lion King, but I think he's the worst part of that movie. But also just like some of Jim Carrey's bits in that movie crack me up. I love his fucking penguin slide at the end of it.
I do really love Eric Roberts' cameo in that film. We should wrap this up. We'll talk about Jim Carrey another time.
Next episode.
I guess. He's not in either of these movies, but he is tangential to them, so we'll see.
Oh my god, you're fucking right. Ace Ventura, I wouldn't have been able to tell you that, but like Son of the Mask, for some reason I was just saying, oh yeah, Jim Carrey. No, he's not the one who's in that.
No, he's not.
Oh fuck. I remember that movie's gonna be bad. I loved Son of the Mask as a kid. Son of the Mask worked, I loved Son of the Mask. I have not watched it since then. My entire life, I was like, how old was I when that movie came out? Young. I watched it right when it came out. That everybody has told me ever since that movie fucking sucks, and I'm ready for it to fucking suck. But the last time I watched it, you have to just picture me as a kid watching it and loving every second of it. Like it is going to be very interesting to return to this one. This is one of those episodes I'm excited for too, just because of that.
God, we got so derailed there at the end.
That's okay. It's a podcast.
It happens. What's left to say, but I come from the land of the Irish Spring. Dublin's the place where I learned my thing. From my eerie isle to your place in the hood, I'm the man in green come to do no good. I'm Matt Presents, and for my co-host Makal, we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.